this level 63 decided to fight me, and I saw he had only range levels and no prayer levels or any other levels really, and decided if he wanted to have a fight, and he said yes. He risked a fair amount, so it sounded like a good opportunity. I decided to smite because he was only using range, and I felt comfortable that I wasn't going to die. Unless he pulled like an insane combo right there after the ballista. But he only had range levels. I then decided to start running away so that maybe he would eat a food or prayer potion or something, and I could put on my magic without getting extra DPS applied to me. And started potting up and going for a random special attack out of nowhere, as I felt like it would have been the best option there, and it did pay off because I did 3-hit him. Now if he did eat in between, he would have survived, but he didn't, and thankfully he didn't, because that was a nice 3-mil loot Robin Hood had. So I went on the med level and saw that I had spellbook swaps for the day, so I grabbed max gear and looked for anyone that looked like they were good loot. Saw that this level 110 had the best, not the best gear that would fare against my gear, as I could just camp very far away and not get hit by his bolts. So I decided to go for it. Immediately I start death upbraiding because I do not know what he has with his vengeance, so I wanted to play it safe. Thankfully he doesn't fight back whatsoever, I don't know why, and he keeps spam clicking the door, letting me do all the DPS against him, and that's pretty awesome. Now he could have ran here. I'm not sure if he decided not to, or if he was going for like a really good ante here. If I was doing like a really high hit, he can like vengeance me and AGS me and listen me, or even volatile staff me, and basically PK me for about almost 100 mil, because I do have Ranger's boots on. But thankfully, just see what happens, lads. As you can see, vengeance right there, and during that, I knew that he couldn't vengeance for 60 seconds more, so I let him get a little bit closer so that he can do more mouse clicks, and therefore not focus on the food or escaping, but rather on killing me. At the end, he does actually start making a run towards south. I guess he just found out that he couldn't go in there, or maybe he was just trying to do that crazy ante against me. This paid off pretty well. Now, I didn't get the loot keys on this account, so a lot of it dropped to the floor. And I did not loot the dragon crossbow. I decided to leave that for anyone that was looting. But I got a nice kill right there. 5.07 mil loot. So I saw this level 3 that looked like he was potting up. So I decided to run in, and he does attack me. Thankfully I hit the freeze right there, because I would be teleporting if he didn't. I decided to get out of range of his knives so that he can do any DPS. Wasting food against any type of account is unfortunate, because your inventory does lose that food, and it is a reverse profit. So I splashed right there, and he goes in for the dragon skimmy to try to melee me, but thankfully I hit the next entangle. Freezing someone is so overpowered in this game, as well as vengeance. but I do not hit the double G maul, and I decided to get out of melee range as quick as possible, and switch to my 9s. Thankfully, he tries to go for something, and PK him for about 200k. So back near the Grand Exchange, I see this guy runs out with Smite and Rune Eyes and everything. Very dangerous if I did not have Protect from range up, but thankfully I get it up before he gets a lot of DPS in. Tail block does not splash. And I get some good hits in with the ACB. I decided to bring an Kite Shield, an Iron Kite Shield, as that would be awesome for collecting some hits, as I do believe it does bring a pretty decent bonus, even though it's a level 1 defense item. Thankfully I hit the freeze right there because I did not look up his stats whatsoever, and he could have G-mauled me, and possibly PK'd me right there. So I hide around the trees so he doesn't do DPS against me. When he's unfrozen, I immediately switch to Protect from melee and get within distance. When running back to freeze, I noticed he went behind the wall, and to try to get me to come closer so he can basically melee me, I go behind the bush, so that way I could not get hit by his melee. I did not look up his stats here, so I don't know if he could have melee on him, or even if he could be hiding Vengeance, because someone has done that before. I'm risking a lot, and one false move can basically cause me to lose everything. So I noticed he doesn't have Protect melee up, and decided to go for a nice hit. And he did have Gmail on him. And this is a nice 800 PK with a depot loot. So I went out, rushed the guy, and failed. And then I saw this level 90, and I think she attacked me, guys. So I knew I had to stay full HP because she did have Inferno and everything. The good thing is that she didn't have Vengeance, so I think I would have had a chance at not dying the most. But just look and see what happens. She goes for the anti. Guys, what was that? Like, her hit didn't register, or did it register all at once? I'm not sure if I got a chance there. Gonna buy 100 more restores.